Japanese defender that broke volleyball, Tomohiro Yamamoto. For decades, volleyball had clear roles. The tall players dominated the net, the smaller players stayed in the back, and everyone understood their place. But defense was always treated as the supporting act. The libero position, created in 1998, was meant to keep rallies alive and give the stars time to shine. It was about survival, not artistry. Then came a player from Hokkaido who turned defense into an art form so captivating that opposing teams would study his movements like choreography. Tomohiro Yamamoto, standing 5 feet 7 inches tall, didn't just play libero. He redefined what it meant to control a volleyball match from the back row, making defensive plays so spectacular that they became the highlight reels themselves. He was so good at his role that he is often cited as the real-life inspiration for the character Yu Nishinoya from Haikyuu. This is the story of how one man's impossible saves transformed Japan into a volleyball powerhouse and made the world fall in love with defense. Tomohiro was born on November 5, 1994, in Ebetsu, Hokkaido, a quiet city known more for its cold winters than its sports stars. His childhood wasn't filled with volleyball dreams. His father was a middle school teacher who also coached his school's volleyball team. This would matter later, but back then it just meant their house always had volleyballs lying around. Volleyball came into his world because of his older brother, who started playing in elementary school. Tomohiro would follow him to practices, picking up loose balls and watching from the side. By first grade, he was playing too, though no one expected much from the smallest kid on the court. What made him different right away wasn't his size or strength, but his eyes. While other young players ran around chasing the ball, Tomohiro seemed to know where it was going before it got there. His father noticed this first, watching his youngest son move to spots that seemed random until the ball showed up exactly where he was waiting. The first real sign that something was special happened at Aniwa Municipal Aniwa Junior High School. The school's volleyball team was nothing fancy, nothing that would bring college scouts around, but they had this kid who was making saves that shouldn't have been possible, not through luck or crazy diving, but through an almost magical ability to read where the ball was going before anyone else on the court. His teammates would hit balls that looked like sure points for the other team, only to see Tomohiro appear underneath them, calmly passing to the setter like he'd been standing there the whole time. His coach had never seen anything like it. Most young players react to the ball after it gets hit. Tomohiro seemed to know what was coming, moving before the attack even started. It was like he could see into the future by half a second, just enough to be in the perfect spot every time. The libero position was still pretty new, and most coaches were still learning how to use it right. Tomohiro was doing something completely different. His defensive plays were so clean and powerful that they became weapons for his team. He could dig a ball that looked impossible to reach, then place his return so perfectly that his teammates had easy shots to score. At Tawanamori Sanai High School, Tomohiro found himself on a team that was good but not great. They had solid players and good basics, but nothing that would make college scouts drive hours to watch them play, except for their libero, who was doing things that made people stop talking in the stands. The story started spreading through volleyball circles. Coaches would call each other after games, trying to describe plays they'd seen. Video clips started going around, shaky recordings of impossible saves that looked more like magic tricks than sports plays. What made it even more amazing was how easy he made it look. Other liberos dove around wildly, throwing their bodies at balls and hoping for the best. Tomohiro moved like he knew exactly where every ball was going and exactly how much energy he needed to get there. His high school career peaked when his team went further in the national tournament than anyone expected. They weren't the most talented group, but they had something no other team had. A player who could keep any rally alive, stop any attack, and turn defensive plays into scoring chances. Nippon Sports Science University offered him a scholarship. Their coach knew that Japan needed to get better at defense if they wanted to compete with the world's best teams. Traditional Japanese volleyball focused on technique and speed, but those things weren't enough anymore against teams with taller and stronger players. College brought his first major awards when he won Best Libero at the East Japan Championships in both 2014-15 and 2016-17. At NSSU, his reputation grew beyond volleyball circles. Students who had never watched a game would show up just to see the libero who could make impossible saves look routine. The breakthrough moment came during his junior year in a game against the defending national champions. The other team had powerful hitters and smart offensive systems designed to crush NSSU with superior athletes. Instead, they found themselves in long rallies where their power meant nothing. Every attack came back, every kill attempt got dug up, and slowly their confidence broke down as this small player in the back row made their best shots look ordinary. The game went 5 sets, and Tomohiro recorded 28 digs, many of them on balls that should have been impossible to return. FC Tokyo signed him in 2016, making him one of the youngest liberos ever to join Japan's top professional league. His first professional game was eye-opening. For the first time in his career, Tomohiro looked human against experienced veterans. The pace was overwhelming, the attacks more powerful. Then something clicked. The second set became a show of everything that made him special. Every attack was expected, every dig was perfect, and slowly, the game changed from a one-sided beatdown into a long battle where technical skill mattered more than raw power. The Japan national team had been struggling for years to find their style in modern volleyball. They were too small to compete with European and American teams in traditional power volleyball. Tomohiro was exactly what they needed, a defensive specialist who could stop opposing offenses while creating attacking chances. His international breakthrough came in 2017 when he helped Japan's university team win bronze at the Summer Universiade in Taipei. That tournament was the first time global volleyball fans saw what Japanese coaches had been talking about for years. His debut with the senior national team came in 2019 when he played in the FIVB Volleyball Men's World Cup. More importantly, he proved that great defense could be just as exciting as powerful attacking, bringing crowds to their feet with saves that seemed to break the laws of physics. The change wasn't instant. Japan still lost games they should have won, but slowly, something was shifting. Teams that expected quick wins found themselves in long games where Japan's defensive consistency wore them down. The breakthrough that changed everything came in 2023. Japan won bronze at the FIVB Men's Volleyball Nations League, their first medal in the tournament since it started in 2017 and their biggest international success in decades. Tomohiro was central to that success. His ability to read opposing offenses and talk with teammates had become like mind reading. He would call out plays before they happened, putting his teammates in position for attacks that hadn't even been set yet. The bronze medal game against Italy was a showcase of everything Japan had built. Italy came in expecting to dominate through superior size and power. Instead, they found themselves in a game where every rally lasted dozens of touches, where their strongest attacks came right back. Japan won in 4 sets, and Tomohiro was named Best Libero of the tournament. The award came not just for individual excellence, but for his role in turning Japan into a real volleyball power. The following year brought even greater success when Japan won silver at the 2024 Volleyball Nations League, their highest finish ever. The final against France was everything volleyball could be. Long rallies where both teams showed incredible skill, momentum swings that had crowds on their feet. Tomohiro was at the center of it all, making saves that kept Japan alive in rallies they should have lost. France won in 4 sets, but Japan's silver medal meant something bigger. They had proven themselves as a team that could compete with anyone through the power of great defense. Once again, Tomohiro was named Best Libero. The 2024 Paris Olympics was the peak of everything Japan had been building toward. For Tomohiro, it was his second Olympics, having also competed in Tokyo 2020. Both times, Japan finished 7th, their best Olympic result since 1992. The quarterfinal game against Italy was a perfect example. Italy came in with taller players and more powerful attacks. Instead, they found themselves in a game that lasted over 2 hours, with rallies that seemed to go on forever and defensive plays that had both teams' benches standing and cheering. Tomohiro was everywhere, making saves that looked impossible, keeping Japan alive in points they should have lost. Italy eventually won, but barely, and only after being pushed to their absolute limit by a team built around defensive excellence. The impact of Tomohiro's career goes far beyond his individual awards. He has completely changed how volleyball is played and watched, proving that great defense can be just as exciting as powerful attacks. Young players across Japan now study his positioning, trying to understand how he knows where plays are going before they happen. He has shown that volleyball success doesn't require following traditional ideas about size and strength. Japan has become competitive not by finding taller players or more powerful attacks, but by developing defensive systems so smart that they cancel out opposing advantages. Now, playing for Osaka Blue Taon after years with the Panasonic Panthers, Tomohiro continues to redefine what's possible from the libero position. At 30 years old, he remains Japan's main libero for major international competitions, the foundation of a defensive system that has made them one of the world's most respected volleyball teams. What started as a kid from Hokkaido making impossible saves has become something bigger, a complete reimagining of how volleyball can be played when defense becomes art, when knowing what's coming becomes strategy, and when the smallest player on the court becomes the most important. The volleyball world discovered that sometimes the most revolutionary changes come not from those who hit the hardest, but from those who prevent hits from landing at all. Tomohiro Yamamoto didn't just break volleyball, he rebuilt it, one impossible save at a time.